teachers, family, and friends. Thank you, Louis, for your very kind words. As most of you know, Jill and I grew up in South Africa. South Africa is literally on the other side of the world, and life there was very different. For example, we went on our summer vacation in December. Midwinter break was in July, and snow was something we saw on the tops of mountains. So as many of my patients have asked me, how did we land up in Cleveland, Ohio? In 1994, when Jill and I decided to leave South Africa, we sat down with a map of the United States and made a list of possible cities. Our priority was to find a city that offered a strong Jewish education for our children. The name Hebrew Academy kept on coming up. We heard about its long history of education and its Masorah, and I feel safe to say that the Hebrew Academy was one of the primary reasons why we chose to move to Cleveland. We certainly did not come here for the weather or the sports teams. Ever since we arrived in Cleveland in January 1995, the Hebrew Academy has been an integral part of our lives. All 6 of our daughters have been educated at the school, and Jill and I feel much hakara to the Hebrew Academy. I remember when I first met Rav Nachum Zev Dessler Zatzal. Rav Dessler told me, as he told each and every parent, that the Hebrew Academy has a policy of providing an education to every Jewish child, regardless of their background or their financial situation. As a foreigner who was new to this country, those words were very reassuring and at the same time inspiring. It showed how deeply Rav Dessler cared about providing a Jewish education to every single Jewish child who desired it. Rav Dessler had witnessed the destruction of European Jewry, and one could feel how much he valued the Torah education of the next generation of children. But providing a quality education does have a price, and that is part of the reason why we are all here tonight. I would like to thank all of you who have provided support to the Scholarship Fund. It is through your support that Rav Dessler's promise of education is able to become a reality. The main reason that I'm standing up here tonight is because of the work that my wife Jill has done with the Bigs and Littles mentoring program. I have watched over the last 9 years as the program has grown from a small start of 20 children to our dynamic program that involves 140 Bigs and Littles. Anyone who knows Jill can see why the program has been successful. Jill really believes deeply in the value of a positive relationship between a young child and an older mentor. She interviews every potential mentor and has a knack of matching bigs with an appropriate little. Chazal have always realized the value of a role model. There is an opinion that the Torah itself could have started in Sefer Shmos with the mitzvah of HaChodesh Hazeh Lachem. The Sforim say that the whole book of Bereshis is brought so that we can learn from the behavior of the Avos. In essence, the Avos are a role model for how we should behave. When the program started, I often wondered how 1 hour a week could make such a difference in someone's life. I did the math, and 1 hour a week works out to be less than 1% of the week. I believe that part of it is because of the nature of the world we live in. Most of us measure our concentration spans in seconds, the seconds it takes to send a text or an email. We have lost our ability to focus for extended periods of time. The mentoring program allows the big and little to spend 60 minutes of focused time together, just being together and building a relationship, without the constant distraction of calls, texts, and emails that most of us are constantly bombarded with. The value of that focused time is something that will stay with both the big and little for many years. We are all deprived of this special time by the nature of the lives we live. Maybe we can all learn something from the program and incorporate it in our daily lives. Once in a while, we should try spending an hour of uninterrupted time with a child or a spouse, just being together with another person and allowing the time and space for real communication to take place. I would like to recognize Rebbitzin Miriam Dessler tonight. Talking of role models, Mrs. Dessler, you really have been a role model for your family and for all the pupils at the Hebrew Academy. With your refinement and medals, you have given all of us something to look up to. I remember my children describing you having lunch every day with Rav Dessler Zatzal in the elementary lunchroom. I was never there to see you, but I have a clear picture of it in my mind. It was a precious ritual which showed those around you how much you valued one another. I know my daughters learned a lesson for life by seeing you eating together. Thank you, Mrs. Dessler, for always giving me support and encouragement, and we daven that you should continue to have good health ad mea ve'esrim shalom. I would like to thank all the teachers who have been involved in educating our 6 daughters over the last 15 years. Jill and I appreciate all your hard work, care, and concern that you have shown and continue to show to all our family. In particular, I would like to thank Mrs. Necha Mormon, Principal of Yavne High School. Mrs. Mormon, Hashem has blessed you with a rare combination of wisdom and deep caring and concern for every child in your school. We feel fortunate to have you as our principal at Yavne, and Jill and I appreciate everything you've done for all the girls at Yavne. I would like to thank my brother David and my in-laws Shirley and Jeff for joining us from Canada. Thank you also to my colleagues from University Hospitals of Cleveland for joining us and giving their support. Thank you to all my patients who have joined us tonight. I am not allowed to recognize my patients by name, but if you take a look around your table and you see someone who looks extremely healthy, that's my patient. Thank you to Rabbi Eli Dessler and Mrs. Malki Newman for your dedication to the school and your tireless efforts to ensure the success of this dinner. Finally, I would like to thank our principal, Rabbi Simcha Dessler. It is clear to all those around you that you embody the same values and commitment to education that your father worked on for so many years. You always seem to have your finger on the pulse of things at the school, whether it be greeting the children when they arrive in the morning, or attending a siyum or a bar mitzvah. Thank you, Rabbi Dessler, for everything you do. Jill and I look forward to many more years of working with you and the school in the education of our children. Thank you very much.